Welcome back to Death by Video. Now, this is going to be the kickoff of the slasher season, I promise you. And the first one we're going to be reviewing this time round is The Mutilator, recently released from Arrow Video. And I'm going to be reviewing that right now! First off, it's almost impossible to explain the plot of The Mutilator without giving away the identity of the killer. It was made when studios started jumping on the bandwagon of slasher movies like Halloween and Friday the 13th. Though not necessarily studio picture, it still feels like it was actually following that same template. After murdering his mother and the most whimsical shotgun blast ever committed to film, imagine Kevin from the Wonder Years shooting his mum on set.
Mama! Mama!
The young Ed is not implicated in his mother's murder and is allowed to carry on living his life. Seemingly the only person who holds a grudge is his dad. We cut to the kid, all grown up, and after some persuasion from his now alcoholic father and some jovial references to his mum's accidental death by his so-called friends,
Ed accidentally shot her.
he's forced into locking up his father's cabin for the winter, and instead they use it as an excuse to go to the beach and party.
4 days of R&R at the beach. I'm in.
She's in, I'm in.
I got a bad feeling about this.
For some reason, in the opening credits, we're thrown into this sitcom-esque 70s era throwback fucking road trip credit sequence.
Going on now.
A ball break, walking hand in hand in the moonlight. We'll breathe the sweet salt air. I swear we'll never part.
Hang on. Wait a minute, wasn't I just reviewing The Mutilator? What the hell is Fall Break? Is Fall Break more sexy or less sexy than Spring Break? Spring Break to me is just like tits and beads. It turns out the dad, who in the right light can look a little bit like a sleeping Robert Downey Jr., has actually decided to set up his friends and murder them one by one. Not too bad for an alcoholic mentalist.
He's having another one of the spells.
Yeah, what kind of spells?
The kind that come in bottles.
Ed has this kind of look of a younger John Bernthal. We all know him as Shane from The Walking Dead, you know, the guy that turned on Rick and fucked his wife. Another looks like the long-lost blonde twin of Robert Rusler, but played with about half the charm. He was the guy from Nightmare on Elm Street 2, also was in Weird Science. He was Robert Downey Jr.'s sidekick. Then you've got the comic relief, Ralph, who plays like a kind of proto-Stifler from American Pie. More of an asshole, but with shitter practical jokes.
Virgins, huh? Well, at least we're all safe. Where are we?
It hammers home that the father's out to kill his son via a series of flashbacks. So the only surprise to who the killer actually is comes from the characters themselves. The audience are just patiently waiting for the obvious to happen.
Yes!
On the way.
The S-effects created by Mark Shostrom, later to work on Evil Dead 2 and Videodrome, still have the visceral impact of the first time view. It worked better when seen as an aftermath rather than a physical effect, because my favourite death in the film was Mike's motor to the chest. You saw it literally come into the shot, cut up all his torso, and then the reveal was literally pulled back as the cuts and the gore literally seeped out from underneath his skin. Mike took seriously too long to die. He could not stop screaming and the crying. Die already, dude! It plays out with first-time actors that make the banal dialogue seem very forced and awkward, as if there's no chemistry between the characters. Add to that a few extras that can't seem to keep their eyes off the camera itself, and even do a knowing wink at a certain point.
Another one of those smart-ass college kids.
Yep.
It could have been better doing tighter cuts to get rid of that action. The winding plot borrows heavily from teen movies like Porky's, but with half the flesh on display that the audience would demand.
Where did everybody go?
The sinister music cues start to tip off when the Mutilator's about to strike again, so much so it starts to become routine. There's even moments where the score switches from light-hearted frolics to almost unbearably tense scenes. I think I love you. Death! The most cringeworthy part of the entire film, where they all decide to play blind man's bluff. It looks as if someone literally switched the lights on and you can see everything. And then when the killer starts coming inside, how did he not see them? It's way too obvious. It doesn't work. It's not a cliche, it just doesn't work. Personally, I think some quicker editing would have actually helped a lot of the scenes in this film. I'm actually still shocked at the revelation that Ed doesn't realise who the killer is. His shocked expression is possibly the best point in this film.
Jesus Christ, it's my dad.
If you enjoy your gore, there's some amazing deaths to watch, but if you like your slasher films free of corny dialogue and bad 70s music, wasn't this film made in the 80s? Then you're better off just watching one of the original Friday the 13th movies. But if you like laughing hard at the film and its flaws, you'll love it. Put it this way, there's no surprise that Buddy Cooper didn't go any further with his filmmaking career. If you enjoyed the video, please hit like. If you want to hear more about horror, follow me on Twitter. And if you want to see more of these videos, please subscribe to me on YouTube by hitting the Death by Video logo. Groovy!